One, because this is a zombie apocalypse movie, we do like to ask, if a zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow in Boston, what is your plan?
Oh, my plan is to come here.
Really?
We've all, like, in the movie theater, we've all talked about this already, because this place has a pretty good foundation, like surrounding area, and tons of food, water, and stuff like that, and the roof access. So the plan that we've always had is get here, get, board up the windows and stuff, and then you're totally secure in here. Get to the roof and make like a system of zip lines going to the other buildings over here, so we can get into like Whole Foods and stuff, and we just have a whole
Wow.
roof system.
Double clap signifies the start of another GDP episode. And who do we have with us today?
My name is David, or Burnzig.
And what do you do here?
I was the general manager. Right now we're kind of closed. I'm furloughed, but basically I'm the general manager.
Of Apple Cinemas.
Yep.
And how'd you get involved in this job?
I have been working in movie theaters for almost 12 years, starting at Harvard Square, then Somerville Theater, Capitol Theater, here, and I just keep moving to different theaters.
What draws you to movie theaters so much?
Initially I just loved movies, and then like when you get into a movie theater, it's kind of like, it's like the movie Clerks. Like everyone's just weird, and like you get to know each other, and you kind of like meet these other weirdos who are on the same level as you, and you kind of just stay there forever.
The community of it
Yeah.
all. What's been your favorite movie you've experienced, like working in a theater?
My favorite moment?
Moment or movie? Like, is there like a particular movie that stands out to you?
This past year we had the big Avengers movie, and that was insanity just for months. I remember that. And actually, I have a good moment. It's not really a happy moment, but it's a funny moment. At the Somerville Theater, this movie called The Town came out. And
The one with Ben Affleck.
yes. And like all these people who were like in the movie, and like other Boston folks came to see it. It was sold out like crazy. And before the show started, this guy runs out screaming, and he has like red all around his neck. And we're like, what happened? He's like, this guy came in and put a rope around my neck and tried to strangle me. And then this guy comes out, and we see him holding the rope, and he runs, and we have cops there for like the big premiere. The cops chase him down the street. And apparently what happened was this guy had a really nice seat, and this other guy came in and wanted that seat. The guy said no, so he put a rope around his neck and tried to kill him to take the seat before the town started.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that was like one of my favorite moments.
That's so crazy. Wow. So in a little pivot, how'd you get to know Conor then?
Conor started showing up and harassing us, must have been over a year ago. Harassing in the best way. Just like constantly telling us like about the movie he wants to make and what he wants to do here. And he was talking like all the managers, and we just kept talking, and he started calling, and he actually called and showed up at the house of the owner of the company. And then he doesn't want anything to do with like this kind of stuff. He's got other things to do. He called me, and he was like, can you talk to this guy and see what's going on? Tell him to stop coming to my house. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll talk to this kid. So like I called him, and we started talking, and I was like, you know what, I really want to help you make this movie. I understand like where you're coming from. Let's like figure something out. And we've been talking since then.
So a question Conor loves for us to ask, and we love asking, is what was your first impression of Conor?
Oh God. He is my first impression. All right, I love Conor. He's awesome. My first impression though was like, oh my God, this is just like a bro dude from Boston. What we would call actually a blue icy bro.
Okay, I was just about to bring up Blue Icy Bros because David talked about Blue Icy Bros on the last one.
That's a total real thing. A blue icy bro, they come in usually the late movies, a group of like 15 of them. They all kind of dress the same, and they order blue ices, and they're like very just bro dude, Boston-y. And like that was my first impression of Conor, and it's still my impression now, but he's evolved much more. Like he's awesome, he's creative, he's great. He's not just a bro dude, but that was my first impression.
He's complex now.
He's a complex bro dude.
Yeah, he's multifaceted. Do you know anything about the movie at all?
Yeah, he's told me a bunch. Like, I know the basic premise, and I've seen a few of the scenes being filmed. Conor knows, like, I'm a big horror guy, so every time he has, like, a crazy zombie scene or something, he shows me and talks to me about it.
Oh, David was telling me that I should actually talk to you because I'm a huge horror person too.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily have the classics down, but growing up, my father really indoctrinated me into horror. So what was like your indoctrination into horror?
Oh, so definitely, like, I was like, I want to say like 5 or 6 years old, and this is the first time I saw a horror movie. I remember it. My mom was like doing something. She left me home, and I watched the first Halloween movie and the first Nightmare on Elm Street back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like so into it. I was home alone for like a while, so into it. I loved it, but it scared the crap out of me. Like, it made me afraid to like go to the basement by myself. But I was like, this is awesome. Like, it feels
Yeah.
exciting. I'm into it. I want to see more. I like this character's cool. I like the designs. So like, I just kept trying to find more of them. And we'd go to like I'm super old, so we'd go to like Blockbuster and stuff. And I'd go to the horror section and like every week rent like 4 or 5 horror movies. And it just like grew from there.
Yeah, my first 2 horror movies were The Evil Dead.
Nice.
Still one of my favorite movies to this day.
Yep.
And Blair Witch, which we actually rented from a Blockbuster. And my dad lied to me and told me it was a true story.
Yeah, I actually thought that too.
Yeah, so I was 8 years old watching this movie that I thought was a true story, just terrified. But it definitely sticks with you. Horror,
Yeah.
like, horror fans, like, it really gets something inside of you.
And actually, I love the Blair Witch. A lot of people like don't really respect it now. Like, they like, oh, that movie sucked. I think it's still like one of the best movies ever made.
Yes, I agree. I thought Blair Witch 2 was not fantastic. I
Not at all.
hated that they showed the monster.
Mhm.
Thought that's what made the first movie so scary.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads us into like a cool little transition. Tell me about your Etsy shop.
So like, I have my Etsy shop, which is just like tons of horror movie prints, T-shirts, pins, all kinds of stickers, stuff like that. If you want to see like a lot of my stuff, it's on my Instagram. I also have my own website, Patreon, Twitter, and they're all easy to find. They're all just Burnzig.
That's cool. So what exactly do you do with them?
So I do like a lot of horror art. It's horror inspired art, mashups, paintings, sketches. Like, the mashups are kind of like, I'll take Disney princesses and Evil Dead and make like a drawing of that together. Lots of stuff like that. Kind of like cute horror almost.
Yeah. Do you have any inspirations?
I mean, like artist wise.
Yeah, artist-wise, or movies that like have really called you to the art realm?
Oh, yeah. I guess like the 80s, like pretty much everything from the 80s is what inspires me. Like, I like the neon aesthetic, like that kind of Outrun vibe, like the old gritty 80s neon lights, Miami Vice style, stuff like that.
That's really awesome. That's really cool.
Where did the name Burnzig come from?
Good question.
Yeah, so my nickname in high school was Sideburns, because I had big sideburns. And then people just called me Sideburns, and people called me Burns, and then Burnsy. But whenever you make like a username online, Burnsy is taken. So I started doing like different variations of it. So I would combine it with other stuff I like I was Burnsed Off the Gray because I love Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I love Danzig, the singer from Misfits, so I did Burnzig. And that one just kind of stuck. It's just simple.
Yeah, just an easy thing. So what's it like living these 2 lives, like the movie theater life and then the Etsy life?
It's kind of weird. Yeah, like I come here, I put on my shirt and tie and talk to the owners, and I'm David. And then like I go to horror conventions and I have a table and I meet all these weirdos and I sell art and it's awesome, and I'm Burnzig. So I guess like, actually, to be honest, I never thought of it as a double life until Conor just said it like half an hour ago, but it totally is.
It's your Hannah Montana moment.
It is. And like sometimes the owners, they'll never see this, so I can talk about it. They like will see some of my weird shirts or like my leather jacket covered in pins, and they're like, "Oh, that's like different, Dave." And I'm like, "Yeah," and just kind of like move on. I don't want them to really know about my other life.
So I know I said what was your indoctrination into horror, but what is like, it's a Friday night, I'm putting on a horror movie. What are you putting on?
Oh man. I mean, it depends. Like, I'm really like picky about my horror movies. So if I want to see something like to make me feel like comfortable, I can draw and paint during, I'll put on like a classic that I love, like something that reminds me of my childhood too. That's just easy to watch in the background while I'm doing stuff. So like Friday the 13th, Part 6 is actually my favorite. I could watch that like a million times in a row. Blair Witch is one of them too. This movie called Society. It's really disgusting, but it's actually very relaxing for me.
What about Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw,
Okay.
the first one. Actually, I actually like all of them except for the remakes, but like the third one is actually really good too. I like the one with Matthew McConaughey. He disowned it. That one's awesome. And then like sometimes I want to watch something new, so like I'll go on like Shudder or Amazon actually has a good collection of horror movies on streaming, and I'll just like look for something I've never seen and just start watching it.
Have you seen The Love Witch?
The Love Witch? No.
Oh, it's a super stylized like horror movie. Not really even horror. I would call it more thriller, but it's by this woman who both directed, costumed, wrote, and scored the film herself.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's super like 80s, like those like neon pinky colors.
Yeah, I'm so into that. I love like a really cool color aesthetic for movies.
Yes.
Like I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my queue to watch. It's called Color of Space, and I heard that has like it's a Nicolas Cage horror movie, and I love Nicolas Cage.
Hell yeah.
He's amazing.
So what's been your favorite horror movie you've watched recently then?
Recently, actually, I watched one a few nights ago called Scare Package, and it's not exactly good, but it's like, but it's super low budget, and you can tell the people that made it like really loved making it and had fun, and it's really funny. Like some parts are really hilarious. It's kind of like, it's one of my favorite styles of horror movie. It's an anthology, so it just has like a bunch of little stories in it that kind of tie together into one bigger story. But some of them are really funny, and I appreciate like low budget movies that are made by people that you can tell really love doing it.
The B horror film is one of the best genres, I think, to exist.
Yeah, I agree totally.
And so we kind of have a couple of like questions we just sort of ask everyone. So what is it that like, what are your responsibilities here? What is it that you do here?
Pretty much everything, payroll, scheduling, the movie schedule. I do like a lot of the graphic design for like the posters and logos and stuff like that. Take care of the staff, like everything that like the guy who runs the building would do, and the general manager tasks.
Is there ever been a movie where you're like, wow, I really wish we would show this, but it's not on the schedule, so you really fight for it?
Yeah, a lot of times. Like, it's actually weird around here. If one local theater gets a movie, it blocks certain other theaters from getting it.
Oh.
So like if this other theater like down the street gets it, we don't. So there's been a bunch of movies like Hereditary I really wanted to get here, and we couldn't because another theater had it. That was like the big one that I was trying to push for and I couldn't get. There's a few other like kind of, I guess, obscure horror movies, but they actually were like, they were really good, and I wish we had gotten them, like art house horror movies.
Yeah, like the A24 indie
Yeah,
horror
I love
movies.
A24 movies, and we don't always get those.
Yeah. And then a couple of ending bits. Well, before I do that, I'll pass it over to Lexi. Do you have any other questions?
I think we're set.
Okay.
How did you get into graphic design? Is this something you've always been passionate
Great
about?
question.
Yeah, I've been drawing since I was like 5 years old, and I just kept drawing and drawing. I actually never had like professional training really. Like I just watch all the videos, I get books, I learn, and I just keep doing it.
So a couple of ending bits. One, because this is a zombie apocalypse movie, we do like to ask, if a zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow in Boston, what is your plan?
Oh, my plan is to come here.
Really?
We've all, like in the movie theater, we've all talked about this already, because this place has a pretty good foundation, like surrounding area, and tons of food, water, and stuff like that, and the roof access. So the plan that we've always had is get here, board up the windows and stuff, and then you're totally secure in here. Get to the roof and make like a system of zip lines go into the other buildings over here, so we can get into like Whole Foods and stuff, and we just have a whole roof system.
You guys have thought this out. It either varies. Whenever we ask this question, it's either someone who's been like, thank you for asking. This is the question I've thought about my entire life. Or it's been, I have no idea. Maybe just sacrifice myself.
Oh, no. I'm ready.
You are ready. You could do the whole like Alive Inside, like that they do on The Walking Dead, paint it on the roof.
Yeah.
And then a couple of our last little ending bit. You need to say, or you have to say if you'd like, hi, my name is your name, and this is my golden hour. And then, hi, my name is, and that was my golden hour.
Okay.
Okay,
Just
whenever you're ready.
Yep. Hi, my name is Burnzig, and this is my golden hour. And then this was my
The
golden
second,
hour.
yeah, that was.
Hi, my name is Burnzig, and that was my golden hour.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Did you
Thank
have a good time?
Yeah. I actually love
Awesome.
talking about horror movies.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad.